Hey class, I hope you had a great Labor Day weekend. We're going to dive right back into it and hope to go through some of the catalog today. So your reading assignment for today is to read pages 17 through 31 by Thursday. And what we're going to cover are fees, grades, and scholarships, as well as academic policy. So diving into it, fees, there are a number of fees that you'll have in college, and at the College of San Mateo is no exception. So some of those are an audit fee, for example, and if you wanted to audit a course or check it out, or if you've already taken a course and wanted to revisit it, audit may be an option for you. That's a $15 per unit charge. Now, the standard enrollment fee for students who are California residents or eligible undocumented students is $46 per unit. We also have a health center at College of San Mateo, as you learned in the Accessing Student Services assignment. And for the health center and the services, those are all encompassing for students. Even if you do have health insurance, you really pay in for the entire student body. It's $21 for fall and spring, $18 for summer. And what's great is there are a number of services provided by the health center. So that includes, personal counseling that's available. We have nurse practitioners that are available if you're not feeling well. You know that you can go into the health center. There are also things like birth control, for example. So the health center does provide quite a few services. Now there is also a student representation fee of $1, which is optional, can be waived with a petition, but that definitely goes towards advocacy for student government and student representatives to represent the college and students at platforms at the college district level, at the state level, and even at the local government level. Parking, that we do charge for parking. Parking is not cheap to maintain or have. So there is a fee for students who do drive, which is pretty affordable. $58 for fall and spring, $27 for summer. Can get a little bit of a discount with a 2-semester pass for, say, fall and spring combined. It's $108. To continue with fees, student body fee. This is different than student representation fee. The student body fee goes towards clubs, organizations, and student government, as well as activities and events. So, for example, during midterm season, the student government will provide snacks and activities like a rock climbing wall. There also are guest speakers and guest lecturers that come to the college, scholarships, emergency student loans, and even supporting the child care center here on campus. It is an optional fee, but goes towards a great cause. The other thing to note is that students who are international or out of state are responsible for paying non-resident tuition fees, which are listed in the catalog. In addition to the non-resident fees per unit, students who are international or out of state are also responsible for the $46 a unit, plus a capital outlay fee of $8 per unit. Something really important to note in terms of fees is they are due upon registration, okay? So every semester we run into this where some students are dropped for non-payment. So what do you do in that situation? Well, one option, obviously, pay your fees on time, but what if it's not an affordable option for you at that point? Well, if you do apply for financial aid, or if you do sign up for a payment plan, which has a small fee, you will not be dropped from your classes if you sign up for those options. But if you simply don't pay for your fees and don't apply for financial aid or a payment plan, you can be dropped. And we see it every semester. So part of this class is creating that awareness and understanding that there are payment plan options as well as financial aid. And remember that fees are due upon registration, okay? There are a number of ways to do it. You can pay in person or online on WebSmart, and CSM does accept credit, debit, cash, and checks as well. All right, just kind of continuing on. What we're going to do is transition to grades and scholarship. So in terms of grades and scholarships, at College of San Mateo and colleges in general, we usually measure that through units. We usually measure your time through units. In high school, credits are often used, but in college, the measuring point is units. And 1 unit generally represents 1 hour of lecture or 3 hours of lab. So in Counseling 120, we have a 3-unit class, which means 3 hours of lecture and activity. Okay. Grades are evaluated symbols issued by the instructor. Please note that College of San Mateo does have plus and minus grades. There are some colleges that only offer A, B, C, D, F, but CSM, Kenyatta, and Skyline, we all have plus and minus grades. And that comes into play in terms of GPA calculation, grade point average calculation. So we will talk about that in a little bit, but really a simple way is dividing number of grade points by number of units taken. And I'll give you an example of that right now. Okay, so let's say that there's student A who is enrolled in 6 units, and student A earned a B in 1 class, meaning that's 9 total grade points in that 3-unit class. And in the second class, student earned an A in also a 3-unit class, meaning that's 12 grade points. Okay, so how did I come up with 9 grade points and 12 grade points? Well, a B, and you'll see the breakdowns in the catalog as well as later in this lecture, a B is worth 3 grade points. Okay, so if a student earns a B in a 3-unit class, that's 3 grade points for the B times 3 units, equaling 9 grade points. For the A that student earned, that's 4 grade points for the A times 3 units, equaling 12. Okay, so in that 6 units, what is that student's GPA for the semester, and how do you come up with it? Well, the answer is taking those grade points, so 9 grade points for the B in the 3-unit class, and 12 grade points for the A in the 3-unit class, and that equals 21 grade points. You will take those grade points and divide it by the number of units the student's taking. In this case, 6 units, okay? So 21 divided by 6 gets you a GPA of 3.5. So that student in 6 units with the A and the B, each 3-unit courses, has a 3.5 GPA. Okay. Also important to note that non-degree applicable classes are not counted in calculating the GPA, nor are pass, no pass units in calculating the GPA as well. So, for example, Counseling 120 is a graded course. Another class that I teach, Career 126 and Counseling 111, pass, no pass, credit, no credit are the options for those classes. So there won't be grade points necessarily associated. So we're going to talk about the grading symbols here as we close. We'll start with the A's and the B's. So an A is considered excellent and 4 grade points. Notice the difference with minuses. So an A minus, for example, is a 3.7, or a B plus is a 3.3, whereas the B is a flat 3. Okay. There you can see what they are for C's, D's, and F's. There may be a grade there missing that you don't see in the catalog or on this chart here. What might that be? If you said C minus, you're correct. In the San Mateo County Community College District, no C minus grades are issued. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So this is it for the letter grades. Now we'll go into other grading symbols, right? Like an excused withdrawal. Maybe you have an incomplete. You know, students may have situations come up where they're not able to finish the semester, or medical emergencies, or possibly a death to someone close to them. In those cases, there may be the option to do an incomplete and complete the requirements later, for example. Credit or pass, no credit or no pass. Again, you can see the grade points are 0 there. And then in closing, the withdrawal options, or the IP, meaning the class is actually in progress, and an H meaning no grade issued. So just to wrap up this section, some important things to note are the different fees that are out there for students. Again, the standard California resident fee is $46 per unit, or for eligible undocumented students, $46 a unit. Understanding what is a unit and what does it represent in college, the different grade symbols, and then in future quizzes and exams, it's going to also be really important to understand how to calculate GPA. So that is it for today's lecture, and we'll continue on with more later in the week.